Okay, so today I'm with Simon Goss. Simon,
Right.
you're an artist, aren't you?
I am,
Yes?
some say, yes,
Brilliant.
a graphic designer and artist.
Great. So can you sort of just tell me a little bit more about what you actually do here?
Yes, this is actually my design studio, but it also doubles as an artist studio. It's mostly figurative work and portraiture. The portraiture has taken two different slants. One of them is to do traditional oil portraits of people, head and shoulders kind of thing, clothed.
Yeah.
The other one is to do nude portraits of people, where the naturist aspect comes in.
Okay.
And I take commissions. I've been working from models in classes for 40 years or more. And then when lockdown came along, I thought I'd try and diversify and actually get more work in. I started advertising to do commissions online through Zoom.
Wow.
That took off to a certain extent. I was getting sort of 4 or 5 a month with it. And the format was that people would contact me, and then I'd set up a Zoom meeting with them. We would then do 4 or 5 5-minute poses for them to get accustomed to the idea of being nude on screen. I would do warm-up sketches as such.
Yeah.
And then we did 2 20-minute poses, which is what they ended up getting in the post, after paying me.
Brilliant. Okay. And if somebody wanted to have the the portrait done by yourself, what can you offer in terms of like how it's done? The materials that you'd use.
Okay. Generally, the main slant of what I do is pencil-based work. So I draw. I'm basically a draftsman, which is my name on Instagram is draftsman with a double N. So I tend to do drawings with soluble graphite, which I then painted over with watercolour to soften and underpin the lines. And I can offer that option or pastel.
Yeah.
Which is a kind of softer, but
Yeah,
generally
nice.
kind of on a larger scale as such drawings. But also I do watercolour pencil work, which is different to the watercolour painting. So obviously, it's more linear based.
Yeah. Okay.
And I can also do oil portraits as well, obviously, depending on time.
Okay. Brilliant. Okay. So, if people wanted to get hold of you to do, portrait, how would they do that? Can they just go to your website or?
Yeah, I've got a website, portraitpainter.me.uk.
Okay, we'll put a link in the description underneath. And I was asking you earlier about the ratio of men and women. You say it's more men and women.
Well, I would say that for the model classes that I go to, the online life drawing classes and the in-person life drawing classes in Swansea where I live, they tend to be mostly women. I would say probably even 80% are women.
Okay.
I think that's possibly because there are more men drawing and they prefer the look of women. Possibly, I know that's a huge generalisation, but I think historically also there is the male gaze as such, looking at women and portraying them in whatever sense. I've no preference actually between drawing men and women. In some ways, men are easier.
Yeah.
Because women's faces are softer and less defined as such, and not as craggy sometimes. Again, generalising.
Yeah.
But I feel more under pressure to get a woman looking facially right than I do with a man.
Yeah.
I don't know why exactly. So I tend to prefer drawing men for that reason sometimes.
Okay, that's interesting. And we were just looking, we can look at the screen now. I mean, if you wanted to, I know you said you've got some videos on Vimeo as well that are quite interesting. So we do just have a quick look at one of the time-lapse videos of you doing, is it a pencil sketch there, or is it?
This one, yeah.
Yeah?
Okay. So this is a 20-minute drawing in soluble graphite overpainted with watercolour, and I'm doing this from an online sitting with a gentleman in the US.
Because that's like you were saying earlier, that's brilliant because there's just no boundaries. You can go anywhere in the world, can't you, really, to do a painting or a drawing, even, I should say.
One of the few benefits of COVID was that it brought about the Zoom age, and for myself it was an absolute boon because I could literally sit in my office and draw someone anywhere in the world.
That's great.
And I've had many commissions now in the last 3 years in the States, and it's so straightforward. We just sit, we have a chat. tell them what I'm going to do, ask what they're expecting me to draw. They take some 5-minute poses, and sort of do 2 or 3 5-minute poses to warm up. For me to warm up and for them to warm up and become accustomed to the setup as such. But then I do 2 20-minute poses where they'll have a more less dynamic pose, shall we say. So they're seated, like that gentleman was, or reclining.
Okay.
And those are the tighter drawings, like this one that you see.
Yeah. And do you ever get asked to do, you know, paintings or people like in landscapes and things like that? Do you ever have to go out on location, as it were? Or?
I've certainly been on location to draw people several times, and you know I'm prepared to travel, but obviously I charge a day rate to do that, so it's much more expensive.
Yeah.
When it's a Zoom drawing, it takes about an hour and a half, and I can make the cost a lot cheaper, of course.
And do you prefer doing those type, or would you prefer? Did you not have a preference?
I prefer in person.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And it took me quite a long time to adapt from drawing in person a 3D being in front of me and translating that into a 2D drawing, which I've been doing for 40 years.
Yeah.
To then transfer that skill, that kind of everything I knew about drawing, to drawing from a flat screen of a person onto a flat piece of paper.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
It's surprising how difficult that was, and that transition, I now fall between the two because I now work from photographs as well. If somebody sends me a set of photographs, rather than wanting to pose live.
Directly,
so that I've got that in the armoury now as well.
Brilliant. Okay.
And then going back to what you asked about the media, these drawings are pencil with watercolour, but I also do, these are quick sketches, pencil watercolour, but I also do pastel and coloured pencil.
That's great.
And recently oil paintings as well.
Yeah, I like those, they're very good.
So those have been quite interesting to do.
And
these are from a model.
Yeah, they look, because I just saw the yoga poses there as well. I mean, you're a very flexible lady, obviously.
She's a wonder, this.
Yeah, she looks great.
Yeah.
I was going to say about your how long normally would you allow someone to pose for you? You know, like with that for a break. You know, they need to break.
There's a little bit of duty of care involved. I try not, especially with a member of the public as such, not a professional model. You would expect them to only be able to hold a pose for about 25-30 minutes.
Okay.
But that would need to be a seated or reclining pose.
Yeah.
If you try standing for 25-30 minutes with your arms above your head, for instance, it's incredibly difficult.
It is,
and you know, one of these contorted reclining poses, absolutely.
Yeah.
These are professional models.
Yeah, and they're used to obviously holding those poses for longer, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely.
And stuff.
You wouldn't expect a model to hold a pose for more than 30 minutes, really, anyway. But then you would tend to mark them and come back to the same pose after a break of 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah. So what I was going to ask you now is the naturist side of things now, from your own personal. How? I mean, I know you mentioned earlier that you're sort of more a holiday naturist.
Yes. That's more weather based.
Yeah, it's weather based. I think you're right, because we don't like being cold, and we would prefer to be somewhere warm where we don't have to wear clothes. But from your point of view, how did you get into naturism initially?
My wife and I went on holiday 5 years ago to Lefkas. The first time we'd been away on our own for many, many years. The kids didn't want to come with us.
Yeah.
And we were on a naturist beach, and we thought we might as well try it.
Oh, great! Yeah.
Absolute bliss. And I've never looked back. I really enjoyed it.
Like us.
It's like us, yes. Yeah, we were actually the same.
Completely enjoyed the experience, and I thought, why would you wear a swimsuit if you don't have to?
Exactly.
But as I say, that was in warm climes. And,
It's not so great in the UK, but hey ho, we can't have everything. But and what, and you just sort of touched on a few things there about naturism, but what do you actually enjoy about you know, but apart from being free of clothes and it's weather.
Well, it
do you
is
just feel-
that bit, but
yeah.
it's the freedom, isn't
Yeah.
it? And having an all over town, it's the whole bag, really.
Well, I think, and I think we think as well, like, you know, with the well-being thing about, like, you're mentally, you can just let go, can't you? And
I like the fact it's a great level
Yeah.
for people. When you're on the beach, you don't know what
Don't know
people
who-
are, what
yeah.
their job might be. You've
got no assumptions, have you?
No
No.
assumptions. I mean, you could say that to a certain extent on a textile beach, I'm sure, but
it's a bit different, isn't
I
it?
think it is different.
Yeah.
I feel I've never met an unfriendly naturist.
No.
You know, everyone seems to be far more.
They're
open
genuine, aren't
and-
they? I think
yeah,
they're quite
think so.
genuine.
They're not literally not got anything to hide.
No, exactly.
And,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not always the case, but
But I think
in
it is
general-
more of a community, isn't it? And
Yeah.
I think, you know, people do want to look out for each other and make sure everyone's okay and they help each other. So
Right.
So where have you been? Which natures? Where have you been to try your naturism?
We went to Lefkas a couple of times, and then we went to Kefalonia in 2020
Oh, that's
of
nice.
all years, which
Oh, God,
was
yeah.
it was marvellous.
I bet there's no one
there was literally nobody there.
Yeah.
We drove around the island. We went to places like Assos. Not that it's a naturist area, but
Yeah.
we went to places like Assos where normally it's
Packed.
buses
Yeah.
round apparently, and we just drove in and parked and had
Oh,
lunch.
wow,
And it was
amazing.
beautiful. It's been a wonderful 2 weeks there.
Yeah.
We did the same again the year after because we had such a nice time. We went to Munda Beach and Canali, I think it's called,
Okay.
which is possibly the most beautiful beach I've ever been to. And as I said to you earlier, we've been to Australia as well.
Yeah,
Not the
yeah.
naturist beaches.
Yeah.
So some of the beaches were absolutely spectacular. And then last year we went to Portugal for 2 weeks in Tavira.
Yeah.
I forget the name of the beach. No.
Oh, Tavira, there's the big. We've
Is that
done
one
a
with the
video
anchors
with the
on it?
anchors on it.
Yeah,
The big
that's
beach
nice
with the
there.
anchors and
That's
the
it.
train that
Yeah,
runs
that's
down.
it,
So
yeah.
For
yes.
the life of me, I don't remember what
Yes.
it's
I
called.
can't remember
We
what it's
can't
called.
remember.
No,
We've-
it's lovely, isn't it?
We've
It's very
actually
nice.
camped the van on the actual
Oh,
front
yeah.
there and
Yeah,
passed and
it's
walked
lovely.
down.
There's a
Yeah.
fabulous restaurant there, the Museum of Tuna.
Oh, wow.
It's absolutely.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you wouldn't
Yeah.
expect it. It's in a really kind of touristy resort, and there's this really nice restaurant there, which was an absolute fun.
Wow.
Yes.
Brilliant.
So you haven't done a naturist resort holiday yet?
No,
then?
never
That's-
done that.
Would you do it?
Yeah, I wouldn't discount anything, certainly.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely would.
So there's so many, aren't there? That's the thing on the continent. There are. I mean, you're spoiled for choice. I mean, like I say, in the UK, I was mentioning to Simon earlier that there's a place called Clover Spa, which is lovely, and it's like a hotel cum
Yeah.
spa
We're
place.
not on a commission. But
We're not on
keep
commission,
mentioning
but
them.
it is.
We
But it is nice, and that's what I'm saying. Is it's the only one I've ever come across where you can sit in the garden if it's
Yeah.
a nice day and you feel like you're on holiday. And like I say, we're not on commission here, but
No,
it's just
it
that whole
sounds
thing.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
in this country, I think you have to have the option of being indoors as well. I don't think there's any doubt about that. As I said, you've been to Tithing Barn, and although I like the experience,
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
when it started drizzling, you are quickly reminded you're in West Wales.
Yeah.
And you know,
Yeah.
it's, although I'm waterproof, having lived here my whole life,
Yeah.
it's never a pleasant experience. I guess.
No, I think we always get that, don't we? Some people who are very sort of hardcore about
Oh, they
it
just
and-
want to be naked all the time, regardless
yeah.
of the weather, and you just think it's absolutely freezing. Put some clothes on. You know, it's not.
Yeah.
You know, we know you're naturist. We know that. We don't need to.
Yeah, it's
prove
almost
it,
like
yeah.
a badge of courage.
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's
I don't
cool.
get that so much. You
Yeah.
know, I certainly would if the circumstances.
Yeah,
permitted,
yeah.
but, yeah, we're relaxed about it.
Do you find, obviously, do you still do life drawing at the college, or are you now just exclusively just doing it for your business? Or have you-
Not at the college, no. Sorry, there were.
when you used to do life drawing at the college, didn't you?
I used to teach.
You used to teach?
Yeah, I used to teach at the college.
Yeah. Did you find it
teach
difficult
life
getting
drawing.
models, or did you find it easy?
It was never up to me. They were always employed by the college themselves,
right.
and know that it was never difficult.
It was never difficult.
Oh,
In
okay.
fact, I did briefly go back a couple of years ago to the university drawing group, the Art Society, because they were arranging models for artists to come in and draw. And they were almost all bucket list students.
Really.
So they decided that they wanted to give this a try.
Not through.
And they were amazing. And it's some of the best models I've drawn. I mean, there was one girl in particular.
Yeah.
I've got some examples here. They're nicely. Oh, sorry.
That's all right. That's okay.
So I don't know if you can see that. It's this is someone who's just turned up out of the blue.
She looks
and
great,
she's
doesn't she?
absolutely
Yeah.
wonderful. Oh, that's a different one actually.
Yeah, no,
These are all
lovely.
students at the university.
They're really good pictures, yeah. Lovely.
Just wanted to give it a try, you know. So
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
it's quite surprising. So I think anybody can do it.
Yes.
You have to be relatively fit, I suppose, to sit still for that long.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy, but
Yeah.
it's surprisingly strenuous.
But that's it. I mean, I don't know if you also, there's another thing, because we have a few people that in the naturism world that are, you know, disabled as well, and they sometimes want to have, you know, they want to get involved with things as well. And like, have you ever had to do portraits of people in wheelchairs or things like that? Or
I've not, no, but I certainly would.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the body positivity aspect of it is
exactly.
fascinating,
Yeah.
and certainly we've had a lot of models who you would consider to be plus size,
Yeah.
and they're some of the best people I've ever drawn.
Yeah.
Absolutely inspirational.
Yeah. And but are you attaching
I
on
can
the?
show you a couple here.
Yeah.
Perhaps, let me see. This young woman here came in with such aplomb and confidence to the life class that she absolutely lit the place up.
Great.
Sorry, clicking the wrong one there. So
You can see that though. You can see that in that picture. It comes through that she's really,
Yeah.
you know, she's comfortable in her body and she's quite happy and.
Completely.
Yeah, you know.
These are 5-minute or 10-minute prep sketches,
Yeah.
so obviously they're a little bit
wonderful.
rougher than normal, but
Oh, brilliant.
but those that kind of confidence definitely inspires the artist,
Yeah.
because you're not concerned that they're uncomfortable
No.
or anything. It's clear that
That
they're
they're
comfortable
okay,
in,
yeah.
in the situation.
Yeah.
I think that's a great thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
No, that's fantastic. No, brilliant.
So as for disabled people, no, I've not had any as such proposed for me, but.
But I think if I'm just thinking from their point of view and you know, like you were saying about the body positivity thing, I mean, you know, to actually have that, and it's sort of like a reminder of you, how you are now, and you know, and it's something to be proud of as well, you know, like they can put that on their wall or whatever, and you know, they can say this is me, because a lot of, I think sometimes, not now so much, but I think in the previous years people used to hide, you know, that, oh no one wants to see me like that, you know, and it's, you know, if you're an amputee or you've got a disfigurement or something, it's a celebration of
or the opposite, where you know, you don't want it to be a freak show as such.
That's what, yeah, that's what I mean.
I think there's always that concern, you know.
Yeah.
There's a prurience that comes into it, perhaps from the part of the observer. It has to be, you know, you have to consider.
Yes.
But no, I think it's completely the right way to go with it, to be more accepting of
and for your own confidence, you know, as well. You know, if you've got that there, and you say, well, and people say, who's that? And you know, it's me. That's me. It's a portrait of me. You know, and you're like, okay, that's great. You know?
Yeah, I'd like to think that that's what most people get from my drawings. You know, and the response that I've had from people is that it's a very uplifting experience, and you know, it has helped with their self-confidence a lot. And I've had, you know, people are really quite shy who will come and ask for a painting to be done. And it's taken a little while of kind of talking to them before they're completely happy to take their robe off or whatever. But it's, in general, that lasts about 30 seconds, and then immediately perfectly fine with it.
Do you find afterwards, it's I always find whenever I've been in those situations, afterwards when you go to put clothes back on, it's sort of people what, do I have to put something back on again now?
Well, it's the same as if you went to a naturist venue and didn't take your clothes off.
You'd stand out like a sore thumb, wouldn't you?
You'd feel really self-confident.
Yeah, you would, wouldn't you? It's like, but that's it. It's just, it's normalising nudity. That's what our thing is, isn't it? It's about normally, we don't want to convert people, but we just want to be people more accepting of what we do. So, you know, if you want to go for a swim naked,
laudable,
you know, you're not hurting anyone.
Maybe not in British rivers.
Not in British rivers.
Not anymore.
But, you know, abroad, if you're there and, you know, you want to go for a swim in the pool or the sea or whatever, you know, you just do it, and it should be help. And like I say, most people
it's the most life-affirming experience.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. But brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time. It's
Pleasure.
been really, really interesting. And like I say, I'm sure that other people will want to sort of get in contact with you to,
I hope so.
you know, and we'll try and promote you as much as we can. So
we'll put
it's
the
great.
links in the
And we'll put the links in the description below.
And they'll also appear on the screen somewhere.
Thank you very
Over
much.
here.
I'm sure I'll fit the link onto the
Yeah.
YouTube video on my website.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Thank
yes.
you so much. That's
It's
great.
reciprocal, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you.
That's great.
That's it.
That's right.
Done.
That's it. Done.
Wow. Is that okay?
Yeah,
Oh, it's
that's
absolutely fine.
Yeah,
When you, because what I say, we'll edit it and then we'll send you the link to it, and you
Just
can.
take out all the ums and ahs and a bit of them away from me.